Hello students, Miss Lockhart here. Let's grab our background page that we have colored last week and let's make sure we have our cactuses from last week, the cutouts that you put aside and saved. Those are the cutouts that match the same shape that you drew in your paper. So now that you've found those cutouts and you folded another piece of green paper, trace the cutout onto a folded piece of green paper. And when you cut it out, you'll see you get two cactus cutouts, which is great, which is a great way to cut out multiple cactuses. So we're going to need multiple of these shapes. Right now we have 3. I'm going to cut 6. So I need to fold another piece of green paper in half and trace it again. I'm also erasing these lines because I don't want to see them in my final cactus. And you can erase your lines as well, your pencil lines. They might not show up, but I think these would, so I'm erasing them. Okay. So I definitely need more of this shape for that cactus. But first I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're going to do to make it look 3D. You're going to fold these cutout pieces in half. And they might not be perfectly symmetrical, which means they might not be exactly the same on both sides, but hopefully they're similar. If they're very different on both sides when you fold them, you need to reconsider the shape of your cactus. It needs to be very close to symmetrical, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then look here how we line up those cutouts that have been folded together. It kind of looks like an accordion fold, which just means they're side by side and they create a really fun 3-dimensional effect. But I would like to add more than just those 3 cutouts. So I am going to need to trace them again on more paper that's been folded, so I can get 2 more pieces out of that folded paper, which I guess is 5 pieces total. The more pieces that you have combined, the more 3-dimensional your cactus is going to look. So I'm tracing it again and cutting out some more. Okay, and I need to fold those in half too. You can pause the video whenever you need if this seems to be going a little too fast. So you can see here what happens when you fold them all side by side, like that. And then we're going to glue them together so they stay nicely. They're going to look really cool and it's going to totally look 3D. So let's go ahead and start to glue it down. Now, if you don't have a green cactus paper that was already glued down to your drawing, that's fine. You can go ahead and just start to glue down these folded pieces of paper without that green background cactus paper on your paper. I hope that makes sense. So the green cactus that's been glued down is unnecessary if you don't have it. You can just continue on with these steps, which are to put glue, either a glue stick or liquid school glue, on the left side of the folded piece. Our very first folded piece, we're going to need to glue the left side down. Now you can see I'm lining up my second folded piece and then putting glue on the left side of that folded piece, the second piece. So glue on the left on the second piece, and then you can attach it to the first folded piece you've glued down and press those 2 sides together and make sure they're nice and stuck. And check to make sure that the glue hasn't stuck any other part, just the 2 pieces you were trying to connect. Now we're going to do our third piece. Remember, you just glue on the left side and then press it down to the right side of the previous folded piece of paper. And you'll see it becomes this really nice 3-dimensional accordion folded like a cactus. So cool. So I'm doing my fourth piece now. I glued the left, and now I'm pressing it down with the right side of the previous folded cactus. And now for another piece, so I'm gluing the left side, and then I'm going to attach it here to the previous folded piece. Now, I didn't mention this before, I'm sorry, but I'm using a scrap piece of paper for my glue because I don't want to get glue on anything else but the scrap piece of paper. Okay, so now I'm going to add glue to the right-hand side and go ahead and press that down. And you can see all these beautiful folds that were made. And I'm going to spread those folds out so it's nice and even and looking symmetrical. And there you have it. That is our first 3D cactus that has been completed. Now it is time to glue down the rest and to cut out the rest of our cactus shapes. So you can just continue to follow along. I'm gonna put my glue stick aside for a minute because now I'm gonna pull out my other cutout and start to trace that onto folded paper. So I will be repeating the same steps as before, but this cactus shape is a little smaller. So now I've folded my paper, and I'm actually going to fold it twice. This way I can get multiple cutouts at once I trace the shape I want. So I'll have 4 cutouts, see? 4 sections there. Okay, so I'm going to line this up, my previously cut out cactus shape that I've saved. So I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to trace it on top of that folded piece of paper and cut around that line all the way around. Okay, and I'm going to fold the first piece that was just like our template that we saved from last week. And I'm going to go ahead and fold the rest of these. Oh, but it's connected at the fold, so that's fine. I'll cut that. And then it'll be ready to fold after I cut that. So like we did with the bigger cacti that's coming out on the left side, we're going to fold all of these and repeat the same steps as before. So it looks like I will have 5 of these awesome 3D cactus pieces here. And I'm going to pull one, grab my white scrap glue paper, and I'm just going to fold it so I don't touch any of that glue I used last time. And I'm going to apply some glue to the left side of the fold. Do you see here I'm lining it up so I make sure I'm putting the glue in the right spot first, which is the left side of the folded part. And then you can go ahead and put it in the place you want it and press it down. Make sure that you put it down behind or sort of like underneath the first cactus that you've made. Now you might have a different design, so go ahead and just do your best to make it fit inside of that vase, the cactus vase that you've drawn, and next to the other cactuses that you've created. So grab your glue and glue the left side of these folded papers and then connect it to the one before and just continue the process. So I'm putting glue on the left side of my folded paper and then pressing it down to the right side of the one before. And again. Okay, you can really start to see it come to life and look 3D. Oops, I didn't erase where I wrote name, so let's go ahead and erase any pencil lines you might have left. Okay. We will add some more texture lines and we'll draw on it, but we'll make the little spikes. So now I'm gluing down the right side and I just pressed it down, and there we have it. There is our second cactus. So now for the third little one that's coming off the top, I have my template or the shape of that third cactus that I cut out last week and saved. So I'm erasing those pencil lines, and now I've got my folded green paper. I folded it twice so that way I can get lots of little shapes cut out on my first cut. Okay, so I'm going to trace it onto this folded paper and cut it out. And again, we will be repeating the same steps as before. So just go ahead and fold each of these in half, and you'll see it'll fit nicely. I tested it out to see if it would fit. So I'm going to fold these pieces here. Okay. And then if you remember from before, you glue the left side of your folded paper and put it where you want it, on the left side of your cactus shape that you're filling in. Okay, and I'm going to repeat these steps. Glue on the left, attach it to the right side of the one before, and continue this until you finish your last cactus. Now, the cactus's pot that it's in can be different. You can even try using a disposable cup or a brown paper bag for the brown color and texture, and start to draw the shape of your pot that your cactus is coming out of. But make the shape bigger and add tabs. So do you see how I'm drawing these little tabs that come out the side here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold those under and then just put glue on the underside of the tab and push it in so that it looks like it's coming off the page, like a cylinder. So you can experiment with your cactus vase. You don't even have to make the vase or the pot 3D if you don't want, but it sure is fun to do so. So you can try that. And it is really fun to use recycled materials. Or you can just draw the same shape, but add some tabs and fold them under to glue them down. Now I'm going to draw some pattern on this to match my design. So I drew that middle line and then I glued that down. Now this might be my favorite part. This is the fun part where you get to add little flowers to the top of your cactus. So fold your tissue paper in half and then in quarters again, and really you can just kind of bunch it up any way you would like. Just pinch one section and kind of grab one section and bring it together so you can hold it together. See here, and kind of pinch it and hold it. And I'm going to be putting the pointed part or the smaller part here inside this hole or opening at the top of our 3D cactus. You see how it fits in there quite nicely? Well, don't forget to add some liquid glue, washable glue. You can use a lot because you definitely want that to stay. So I'm gluing both sides all around my little bunched up tissue. And now I'm going to place it in there and make sure that it's in there pretty good. You don't want it to fall out. So I'm going to press it in there with my pinky, and that looks great. I'm going to do one more flower on the other medium-sized cacti over here. Just folding this tissue paper. I decided to use this pink and purple. Okay, bunch it together and see how it fits there. Okay, that'll work. Now I'm going to add my glue and put it where it goes, in that opening right there at the base of the cactus. Okay, that is pretty much it, everybody. If you finished coloring and if you've created some 3D elements, now you get to add your spikes to the cactus. So this might be really fun. I thought it was really fun. It does take some patience. So go ahead and add these little dashes that represent the spikes on the cacti. You can add these between each of the folds and each of the layers, and it'll start to look more and more three-dimensional and realistic. Well, thanks for following along, everyone. I cannot wait to see what you've made. Great job.